seems that my days as a seer have come to pass.
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last.
But before I go, I must write of one of our own and the perils she will face.
Why do you think this episode's called Torin's Whiny-Ass bitch entry?
How I wish that I could be there to help her along the way. However, all young children must leave to explore the world someday. Yet it is times like this, while I look at her now, sleeping quietly in her crib here, next to me, that I wish I could hold her close and never let her go. But I know that I cannot do that.
Save me the use of my alone time hand. I have a certain tool that I use to punish people who speak incorrectly. OVD's thinking of bringing me in soon to utilize it.
Her life will be cut short in just a matter of a few years.
Hooray! Except we already know that she'll come back, so that sucks.
He, brother, will die willingly for her, but I know that it is his death that will force her to. Do what she thinks she must to avenge not only him, but the rest of us as well.
And we all know Akuma's judgment is very sound and not to be questioned.
But I do not fault her for breaking our laws, for I find myself wanting to do the same if only to protect her. Rape, torture, betrayal, death, heartbreak, loss, they will all hit her hard. How she will survive through it all even astounds me. She must be a very strong-willed person for one so fragile. Even as I write this, I must stop to look up to assure myself that my little angel still draws breath.
Please sound more like a pedophile.
Yikes.
If I am Lolita, then you are a criminal, and you should be killed by an army of little girls.
Her first fall will be by my own fault. When I made her older brother promise to protect her always, I never realized that he thought I meant to the extent of his own life. So I will take the blame for his death and for her fall into
Darkness!
That will be my sin. Her second fall will be when she finally gives in to the loneliness that surrounds her.
This story would be so much more interesting if Akuma was a Scorpio's child. That was what I actually meant to say, yes.
I know the feeling all too well when I lost my first mate. His death nearly killed me, as will the death of her brother to her. This is why she will bring him back and fail.
All Akuma ever does is bore and fail.
She will have created her greatest enemy for the future, both in battle and in love. Her third fall shall come by the very person she sought to save.
And I will have you know that I do more than just fall and fail. Sometimes I have a miscarriage and die. Sometimes me and I go out for bubble tea.
Fuck yeah, bubble tea. I could do without the miscarriages and dying, though.
Boy, are you in for a rough month.
Her own brother, controlled by the demon that invaded its soul, shall betray her.
You know, if this were by a more competent writer, the concept of a heartbroken woman trying to revive her brother and then a demon hitching a ride in his body would actually be quite interesting.
Thrown from the cliff tops in the sea of storms, it is here that she will meet a watery grave for this life. Her fourth fall shall come not of this world, but of the world that one of our sacred beasts came from, brought to us by the keeper of animals, and the one who made it possibly for me to have a daughter.
Wait, a bestiality fetishist raped you and bore you a daughter? Wish I could say that made no sense, but in the context of this show, sadly it does.
He will not give us a name, but his eyes of pure silver.
That sounds uncomfortable and useless. How can he see if his eyes are made of silver?
And his hair of earthly brown.
Ugh, he should wash his hair more often.
Or dreadlock it, so he doesn't have to wash it. I hear that looks in.
You know fashion.
Why wouldn't I?
Allow us to give him the name, my whole man of bounty.
A child of his realm will rip the very wings from her back and send her into her fourth fall.
Wait, I thought Caleb was Drydarian. He is, but he's pretending to be Dracosti. Remember Lucky? Oh, yeah. Thanks for that. I will never forget Lucky, no matter how hard I try. No, neither will anyone else for that matter. So thank you for making me remember that with my own brain. You see, this is why nobody likes you except maybe Marie the plushie lady.
He will not be a fault, though, for his mother. The one who controls him has a heart blacker than Yami's breath.
How do you know what her abyss looks like? Been there often, have you? Does your husband know?
However, retribution will come to both the child and my angel. The mother will meet her fate by her father's hand.
You know, not all of us are into this 50 Shades crap.
Different anachronisms.
Sorry, Master of the Universe crap.
The fifth fall shall come for a person that she loved.
So, how many times do we have to push Akuma down the stairs before she just fucking dies already?
Too many times. Too many times.
Her body shall be broken and left bleeding by the same woman that she had come to care for.
Oh god, she dated Desmoda, didn't she? No. Desmoda actually has taste in women.
The person was like a mother to her, and she only found heartbreak in it.
There is no Santa Claus.
There isn't?
And you're 20 what now?
23, as you know. How long have you known? How could you not tell me?
The sixth fall shall come from watching the death of someone she loved. A vampire shall rip her soul from his body.
What the hell was her soul doing in his body?
And place it elsewhere.
Destroy the painting! Destroy it!
While she watches this vampire rape and drain the man she loves.
For vampires, that's kind of the same thing.
But Epiphany, he's a Cory character. Personally, I find the attempt at purple prosing Mahane's description a lot more disturbing, since he's based on a real person. Oh god, I hope he's not watching this. What's wrong with purple prosing someone's description if they're based on a real person? I mean, I do it all the time with
Only to meet his exact fate several hours later. Now I come to it, her final fall. This is the one that will truly break her soul.
You mean it wasn't broken when you destroyed the painting?
And this is the one I wish I could protect her from the most. The man she finally allows into her heart shall be the one to allow her to bear a child.
Is this that bestiality person from before? And also, if this is the fate you want to protect her from the most, maybe you should do that instead of whinging about it to us. Wait, I have one of those, but it's...
Also, you can't say Wink wish list on the show.
But you said it!
I'm the director, I can say whatever I want.
A son to restore peace and the Nzero line.
Yay to peace, boo to the Nzero line.
A T-Bone says the man to restore the Inzuru line is from the Angel line.
I hope not. Did somebody say suffering? Because I'm hungry. Case in point. I want you suffering. I want you suffering. I want you beautiful suffering. I want to see your pain. Hey, Serlena Oregano and I are the only ones allowed to fuck up Emily Autumn's songs on this show.
No, I actually am security. Ovidi's too cheap not to cross-hire.
However, this is where it ends for her. My daughter's soul shall finally be able to take no more. The man she loved raped her, but to him it was only what thought was right to help her.
You just said you don't like him. Why do you think he should have been president if you don't even like him?
Rosemary, it is 2008, not 2016, or 2019 for that matter. Jesus Christ, how long does it take to produce this shit?
I am a bad bot. Spank me, OVD.
So, should I open the door now, or wait for her chair to knock?
This child is not the one the world needs. However, it will not matter.
I say that about children all the time. I mean, by children, I mean my coworkers and classmates, but still, this is why we're best friends.
Oh, okay, thanks.
It is not this child's fate to live.
Objection! She is so fated to live that she literally came back from the dead on multiple occasions.
That's not fate, that's the cruel goddesses fucking with us.
Same difference.
But now, for now, she can't heal. Her power is fading. After the child is born, she will not exist much longer. Her brother shall be freed, and the demon will take her husband, and they will raise her son together. For this is when she finally loses her fight. Her battle with him will leave her far too damaged.
Let's test that theory!
She's in a coma, Serlena.
So?
Have you ever fought your way out of a paper bag while in a coma?
Do you know how ridiculous you sound? I mean, just listen to the words coming out of your mouth! How did you get to be the director of this craptastic show anyway?
Nepotism, and you didn't answer my...
Moo! I'm a fish!
I'm in love with the maid with the candlestick in the library.
Yes, Kato is quite charming, isn't she?
When her soul moved to its new house, the person she was died, and her memories of thousands of years fade along with her to her grave. Her fate afterwards is to be reborn again, and the fate will not be as kind.
I think now would be a really good time to summarize.
Audience, would you care to? So, someone threw fertility magic at Akuma's parents, and then she goes through various falls. Not to be confused with autumns. A fertility god, most likely, and it's implied to be Mahane, or someone with access to his methods and materials. Fall 1. Someone tries to kill Akuma, but Drake intervenes and winds up dead instead. Fall 2. Akuma is unable to complete the mourning process and uses illegal magic to bring Drake back, only now a demon has hitched a ride in Drake's body. Fall 3. The demon, whom we know as Orion, throws her off a cliff and she presumably drowns. Fall 4. Someone from Mahane's in my realm rips off Akuma's wings at his mother's command.
You'd think those last two would be in the opposite order.
Yeah, right, that was Caleb. And you really would. Jury's still out on whether or not he's one of ours, remember? Also, Torin implied that Delirious killed Peppercorn, but as I remember, it was actually Minesweeper who did it with my permission at Drake's request. Fall 5. An anonymous woman Akuma loves and thinks of as a mother leaves her body, quote, broken and bleeding. Fall 6. She watches the death of her lover who died before she could tell him she loved him. A vampire rapes and kills him and then befalls the same fate a few hours later.
Hold on. So he died and then got raped by a vampire and then killed by a vampire. And then
No. She watches a vampire rape and kill the guy before she can tell the guy that she loves him. And then the vampire is also raped and killed.
by somebody else, presumably.
I mean, one would hope.
Okay. Okay.
Fall 7. She gets knocked up via off-screen rape by Delirious during Trigger Happy Part 5 and bears, quote, A son to restore peace to the Inzuru line. Onion leaves Drake's body, then Onion and Delirious adopt the child, and Akuma's soul rage quits. Sound about right?
There's a lot of shit missing in that account.
No duh, it covers thousands of years.
No, I mean there's shit missing that you would expect would be in the prophecy of a fallen angel being all fallen, the fates out together, and blah blah blah. Torin's prophecy is shockingly short-sighted here.
When they find her, the best thing her blood-red falcon can do for her is to destroy her soul and finally allow her peace.
He probably won't be able to stand looking at a painting even long enough to destroy it.
Everett, what in the nine hells are you going on about?
A soul painting, like in the picture of Dorian Gray. Handsome airhead gets his portrait done and sells his soul for eternal youth, while his image in the portrait ages in his place and takes on the effects of his sins. Haven't you read it? Well, it doesn't matter. I bet Akuma's soul painting's final form will be even more hideous than poor Dorian's.
Last time I tried to break her contract, I had to sit in the thinking room and wear a thinking cap with thinking lights and thinking music. It was not a good experience. It was even worse than the Wapapapa.
That's what her mom should have taken.
It didn't work, damn it!
No, but then you'll have to deal with the drama over her being unable to bear children.
Can't we just, get her a coat hanger or something? You think I didn't try that too? And the baseball bat? And the herbal teas? Fertility magic is bullshit, yo! Complete and utter bullshit! I even tried going to one of those medical professionals. They said there was nothing they could do. I was poked and prodded 7 ways from Sunday, and not in the good way, damn it! Not in the good way! God, no wonder you tried to drown your baby. See, this kind of shit was why I'm pro-choice.
She has been through far too much for one person to bear.
Or at least if you're not going to shut up, you can maybe tell everyone the whole story.
Now my time is done. I have written all there is.
So, does this mean you'll shut up?
No. And no, he hasn't written all there is, as I pointed out.
To be entirely fair, this is her dad we're talking about. Maybe he didn't want to go into all the gory details about everything that happened to his daughter.
Yeah, but isn't Corey's motto basically, when you're trying for pity points, go big or go home?
No, I can only watch and pray for her.
Oh, silly me, of course you won't.
You are the worst piece of shit parent that ever lived, and believe me, that's fucking saying something. You can only watch as your daughter undergoes all the horrors you've mentioned in a whole expansion pack past worth that you haven't. Your son and his demon parasite manipulate Akuma's boyfriend into raping her to bear the child mentioned in your prophecy, and all you have to say is, oh, thoughts and prayers. Are you shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me right now? God, no wonder she never tried to escape.
Selena!
Developed Stockholm Syndrome.
Selena! You know the rule about spoilers.
Better than the pieces of shit who fucking raised her.
I cannot wait for the day I will hold my dear Akuma again in my arms.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Continuity! Isn't she right there in her crib next to you as you wax apologetic?
Normally I would make a joke about you being a cradle robber, but right now it's actually warranted. Stage quit.
For those that hear this, do not get me wrong.
Oh, believe me, there's no possible way to get you wrong here. I don't think even Tokiomi could manage to see any good in you at this point.
I love my daughter and would never wish this on her. But I also love her enough to know I cannot try to fight her battles for her.
That is such a transparently shitty excuse for not intervening. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I take it Remiram doesn't have child protective services.
You wanna know what's fucking ironic? The demon realms do!
Why doesn't Remiram?
I'm guessing it's because the twin goddesses Yami and Hikari.
Seriously?
Hey, I didn't name their bullshit religion.
Darkness and light?
Yeah, I know. At least Melinda Salisbury had a good reason for night and dag. Yes, but to answer your question, I'm assuming Remiram doesn't have CPS because the twin goddesses will provide.
So, angelic superiority complexes.
You got it.
So now that the sun is rising and I see she has lived through the night again, I must finish this for I don't trust her mother with her in my daughter's very weak state.
Didn't Audience 1 just run out of the room with her a little while ago?
Yes, but also Torin knows what's coming. He's made that very clear. Either he cares about Akuma, wants to protect her, and will keep her safe to the best of his ability, which we all know he won't, or he doesn't care because he's resigned to thoughts and prayers, while Akuma suffers her 7.666 terrible fates, and doesn't do anything to protect her because he's a shitty father. He can't have it both ways.
I must spend every chance I have with my daughter and son, for they are really all I have.
Then maybe you shouldn't have let some random woman run out of the room with your kid.
So, really, you should be watching Akuma like a hawk and doing your level best to defy all these prophecies, even if you risk shredding your soul to do so. My mum would do as much for me, and she's the card-carryingest evil over lady that ever carried cards!
And here is Dante and Sky.
Wait, they're the same person?
And they don't count as people you have? Seriously?
What do you...
Just wait.
I must go! Damien, Torin, and Zero, clan leader of the last tribe.
You mean Damien, Torin, and Zero, shitty clan leader, and shittier father who should never be in charge of anyone ever, especially not a whole clan or tribe.
Doylist diversion here, but if Corey wanted to make this work with Torin as a tragically helpless figure, all she had to do was have Torin say it would shatter Akuma's soul if he tried to interfere, and he's gambling that, stupid 1,000 years being a very long time, his daughter might have a chance to have some happiness outside of her fate-mandated suffering, and he'd rather give her that chance than cut her life short in infancy.
In Trigger Happy part I don't fucking remember because all the fail blends together, Onion said that Inzuru shed their own souls to non-existence when they tried to test fate, so if Torin did go down that road, he'd have to specify that Yami, goddess of darkness, and probably a vengeful one at that, had threatened to shatter Akuma's soul instead of Torin's in order to keep him in line.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the goddesses until Sir Leon pointed out. She wouldn't even have to adjust her lore then.
Though, let's face it, Corey will adjust her lore on a dime whenever the confines of it become inconvenient for whatever drama cow she's trying to milk. Wait, but also didn't Torin advocate for destroying Akuma's soul so that she can have peace? Yeah, but that was for adult Akuma, not baby Akuma.
Another option would be to have Dante or Sky mention a few days later that Torin had indeed changed his mind and tried to subvert fate out of love for his daughter, but failed, and now they're looking for a way to restore his or Akuma's soul.
You didn't know that Santa Claus isn't real until I pointed it out, but you can analyze the show enough to come up with that? Really?
Akuma's my favorite character. Of course, I can think of ways she could have been saved without breaking the backstory.
Your favorite character? That's horrifying.
No, what's horrifying is how much everyone's been bullying her, especially now that we all know most of what she's been through.
But her personality's still really grating regardless of what she's been through. I mean, you've had some pretty horrific things happen to you, and you don't sit around passive-aggressively demanding pity from everyone.
When has she done that?
Oh, you hadn't noticed? Then I guess commentary will need to point it out extra vigorously from now on. Anyway, you can empathize with her all you want, but at least your trauma responses are realistic.
Actually, I agree with Tokiomi. You shouldn't be bullying anyone, least of all a victim. All survivors are valid, and there are a variety of different valid responses, and I think you're being reductive. As someone who's actually studying psychology, I'm just gonna stop you right there. Yeah, there's a variety of different trauma responses that are well within the parameters for validity. But there are also people who make shit up for attention and, as a result, don't know how to realistically portray trauma because they don't actually have it and don't bother to learn from people who do. Oh, well, excuse me. I didn't realize I was talking to the intellectually elite. I don't see how I can be blamed for you being unobservant, but I suppose it is within my power to grant you pardon.
I'm in love with the maid. I'm in love with the maid. I'm in love with the maid with the candlestick. I'm in love with the maid. I'm in love with the maid. I'm in love with the maid with the candlestick. I'm in love with the maid. 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 I'm in love with the maid with the candlestick. In the library. In the library. In the library. I'm in love with the maid. In the library. The library. The library. The library. The library. The library. I'm in love with the maid. In the library. I'm in love with the maid. In the library. I'm in love with the maid with the candlestick. In the library.
Is my pain good enough for faith in you? So just hold me, wrap me in your arms, don't let me fall again.